Greetings gaming citizens, Mike here. Welcome back to another video. This time, things are a little different in the prediction side of things. So, a couple weeks ago, the Nintendo Switch 2 was officially revealed, but at the tail end of that reveal trailer, we got word that an official Nintendo Switch 2 Direct would be on April 2nd. I guess they didn't have time to schedule an April Fool's Day Direct this time, but that has put this video into a bit of jeopardy, because, well, now that we know that we're getting a Switch 2 Direct in April, is Nintendo really going to talk about the Nintendo Switch 1 for their usual February Direct? The February Direct has been a thing, I want to say it goes even into the Wii U days. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below. But at least in the Switch era, there's always been a Direct in February, every single time. I would be surprised if there's a year where there wasn't. But anyway, so yeah, this video may or may not be totally pointless to make, but I'm going to do it anyway. So, assuming that Nintendo decides to support the Nintendo Switch 1 in 2025 with a Direct, I have a list of games that I think they would talk about. So, first thing that I will say before we get into the games, I believe that this will air on February 12th to coincide with the typical trend of releasing a Nintendo Direct on around a Wednesday or Thursday. So they typically release a Nintendo Direct on a Thursday because that's Friday in Japan. However, it's Valentine's Day week, so I feel like they would push it back a day, you know, for the sake of time, because they like to do things in early to mid-February when it comes to the February Directs in particular. So I feel like February 12th is just the most likely date that they would do that. And the semantics about this is this Direct would focus on titles releasing up to June 2025, with some games being either just Switch 1 or they would be cross-gen, so they would be forward compatible with Switch 2. So that's the general scope of what I'm working with for this predictions video. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Going into the first-party games. So, I wrote this list before the Switch 2 was revealed, so I had Metroid Prime 4 Beyond getting a release window. So, here's the thing. Metroid Prime 4 was announced for Nintendo Switch, the original Nintendo Switch, when it was revealed last year. When it got that revealed trailer. Now that the Switch 2 is on the horizon, there's a lot of speculation that Metroid Prime 4 would be one of the launch titles for the Switch 2. I feel like in this case, because they showed it off to be on Switch 1, this was before we even knew the Switch 2 was... The Switch 2 was all but confirmed when Metroid Prime 4 was officially revealed to be releasing in 2025. So, I feel like they're still gonna have it in this February Direct, but now that the Switch 2 is officially, you know, in the news wave and everything, it's going to be forwards compatible. So it's going to be both on Switch 1 and Switch 2. I mean, obviously, every Switch 1 game is forwards compatible because they're using the same cartridge system, whatever. But I think we may see Metroid Prime 4 here. And finally getting, you know, a more specific release window. I don't know if they'll go for a specific release date yet, but at the very least, something like quarter 2, quarter 3, 2025, we will see that for Metroid Prime 4. Next, we have Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. So this was shadow dropped on Twitter of all things, and considering this game comes out on March 20th, I feel like it falls into the window of, you know, they would throw it into the Direct as a kind of an in case you missed it type of thing, because, you know, maybe not everybody uses Twitter. I know I sure as hell don't anymore for reasons that I won't get into, but, you know, if they want to make sure that everybody following the Nintendo news wave knows about Xenoblade X Definitive Edition coming out, they would just throw it in the Direct, being like, hey, in case you didn't see that we announced this like a month or two ago, Xenoblade X comes out next month for Nintendo Switch. I feel like they could easily put a little teaser in there just to get the Xenoblade fans excited. I've never played Xenoblade X. I have the rest of the series, but I've only played Xenoblade 1 so far, so, you know, let me know, you know, if it's worth getting into. It's kind of the black sheep of the series compared to Xenoblade 1, 2, Torna 3. How different is it? Is it worth really getting into? Let me know in the comments down below. So one thing that I have in my notes here, this is very unlikely due to the Switch 2 Direct happening in April, and that is a new Zelda or Mario project. Now, I know what you're thinking. Mario and Zelda they're the biggest pillars of Nintendo IP. So why the hell would they announce the next big title on what's about to be the previous old system? Again, wrote this before the Switch 2 was revealed, so I really did not know what to expect here. But now that the Switch 2 is on the horizon, it's kind of a toss-up now. Because obviously, forwards compatibility with the Switch 2 is a thing for the Switch 1 library, but yeah, now that the Switch 2 is kind of out there, it's probably going to be in the Switch 2 Direct, so yeah. Going a bit further into that, this is not necessarily a game, but I feel like in the February Direct, they will make an announcement for the Mario Day Direct. I feel like they would announce that, to be happening, because it's the 40th anniversary of the original Super Mario Brothers in 2025, so I would think that they would want to get people excited about what they have in store for the Mario series going into this year. It's going to be a landmark year. 40 years, that's nothing to sleep on. That's a long time for a video game franchise to be, going and surviving. So they're definitely going to pull out all the stops for this one. Getting into the third-party stuff. So I feel like, just like every other Direct, there's going to be a lot of third-party support. We already have a ton of developers declaring their support for the Switch 2, but there's definitely a lot of stuff coming out for the Switch 1 that is still on the horizon that I think would be covered in a February Direct, even in 2025. So starting off, we've got Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. So this was announced at the Game Awards last year for current-gen systems. So your PS5s, your Xboxes, if you use those. Nintendo Switch is not on that list, but because of the Switch 2 Direct, I feel like we're going to see Fatal Fury City of the Wolves be confirmed to be coming to Switch 2 specifically. So yeah, this kind of goes against the point of this being a Nintendo Switch 1 Direct. So we might just see that as third-party support for Switch 2, but just throwing it in there anyway. Next, we have Inazuma 11 Victory Road, one of the several titles coming out from Level 5. Presently, we only know that it's coming out in Q3, 2025, so a bit more information about specifically when in Q3 it's coming out, or if it's getting delayed, God forbid. I feel like that's what we're going to see in this February Direct. Supposedly, according to... I have this in my notes here. There was a trailer for Inazuma 11 Victory Road that said it was confirmed for June 2025. So we may very well see it come out in June, which would be very interesting timing considering a lot of people think the Switch 2 is coming out that month, but that's a whole other level of detail that I don't intend to go into in this video. For those who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, this was shown off at Tokyo Game Show last year, and it had a demo. It's a football RPG. It, why not, I guess? I guess Golf Story was pretty good. It was a golf RPG, so sure, throw another sport into the RPG genre, see what happens. I don't know. Next, we've got Atelier Resleriana, The Red Alchemist, and The White Guardian. Holy crap, that is a long title, but coming out from Koei Tecmo in 2025. Not to be confused with the mobile gacha game of the same title. Took a bit of research to make sure I got the details right on that one. So the story and characters are from the gacha game, but this will be a traditional RPG like the other Atelier games, like your Ryza, Atelier Sophie, etc. Just your generic, specific release window would be neat. Yeah, I think if they were to include it, that's what this would be for. Next, we got Capcom Fighting Collection 2, slated for 2025. Again, just more specific on their release window would be nice. Apparently, the first Capcom Fighting Collection was pretty cool. I don't really play a lot of fighting games, but, it seems pretty exciting for fighting game enjoyers or Capcom fans, or even both. So, more specific release date on that would be nice. So next, we've got a remaster of an old 90s classic. We got Croc, Legend of the Gobos. slated for Q1 2025. So originally, this was intended for release in December of last year, but it was delayed to quote-unquote early 2025, which I took as Q1. Considering we're in February right now, Q1 is about halfway done, so it's either coming out really soon or might get delayed again. So some details on that would probably be shown off in a direct like this. Considering that, Croc is a 90s platformer, I feel like it's very likely we'll see this in Nintendo Direct because the gameplay style just seems like something you would see in a Nintendo Direct, so why not? Getting into more stuff that is just very generic, releasing in 2025, we have the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remakes. So it was announced alongside the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake that was highly anticipated. They were announced in June 2024, but since then, no update was given on the development progress or release outside of just the generic releasing this year statement. So, we already know Square is a huge supporter of Nintendo. I have no doubt they're really cooking on the HD 2D remakes. If, 3's remake is anything to go off of, that game looks gorgeous. So, something about 1 and 2 HD 2D would be very nice. I feel like a lot of people would get excited for that. Next, we have your usual suspect, the cozy life sim game of the Direct. Releasing in 2025, we have Floatopia. It was revealed at Gamescom Opening Night Live in 2024. It's developed by NetEase and has a feature where you go to the game's official website to check in. So you get like an in-game bonus, a small in-game bonus for checking in daily. So that's usually a pretty telling sign of egregious monetization, your microtransactions, your, possibly gacha style, who knows. So definitely be wary of that. But if we do see something about Floatopia, it'll definitely be something about release window. Again, coming out in 2025. We know literally nothing about when this game is coming out, but it looks cozy and cute and pretty fun. So yeah, I feel like that would be shown off in a Direct as well. Well, I could say that for pretty much all the games in this video, can't I? Next, we've got Little Nightmares 3, the highly anticipated sequel to the popular series, again, releasing in 2025, TBD. This was revealed at Gamescom Opening Night Live in 2023, and in May 2024, it was announced to be delayed. So this game is kind of just exists at the moment. We don't know how far along they are with the game, especially after the delay. So, any information on that would probably be nice to Little Nightmares enjoyers. So yeah, hopefully we'll get more information about that, because from what I've heard, Little Nightmares definitely has a striking visual style to me. I'm not one for kind of spooky games of the like, but I know some people that would very much like to play the third entry in this series. So for their sake, I hope we get more information about that. Next, we've got Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, releasing either Q2 or Q3 2025. It was announced at the Game Awards last year, and it looks incredible. Ninja Gaiden has just had a fantastic past few months between, this game getting announced. We've got, what was it, like Ninja Gaiden 4 remake or something? And then Ninja Gaiden 2 Black just came out, and that's apparently really good. Ninja Gaiden is really doing pretty well the past couple months, so this game is just going to be adding on to that for Ninja Gaiden's resurgence in 2025. It's a Metroidvania, so it definitely has my attention, and it just looks awesome. The visual style is it's just so cool. So I can't wait to get my hands on that one. So hopefully we see something about that in a February Direct, assuming we get one. For this next game, I'm just calling out, a complete search party. Get the FBI on this one. Have we heard anything from Professor Layton? So Professor Layton, the New World of Steam. We heard about it at Tokyo Game Show last year. There was supposedly a demo, so I would think if you're able to put a demo together, maybe a release date isn't that far off. For reference, September was when Tokyo Game Show was, so, it's been like 5 months since then. I would hope the game is close to being finished, or at least to the point where they could show off a, quarter something release window. But I've never played Professor Layton, but it does look like a fantastic series, and, this would be my first entry into Professor Layton, so I really hope we hear more about this, because I want to see what the game is like. I want to see if I would enjoy it. So please, level 5, are you okay? Next is the recently announced Harvest Moon Cozy Bundle. It contains Harvest Moon, the Lost Valley, and Skytree Village, and it was just recently announced like a week ago by Natsume for summer 2025, so I'm putting my money on either June or July. Obviously, those are summer months, duh, but those are the months that I would think a Harvest Moon game would come out. Your typical run-of-the-mill, your farming simulator, but Harvest Moon is just, I want to say it's a good series. I've heard it's a bit divisive. I don't know all the details about it. Let me know in the comments down below if there was like something about it, but would be cool to see more about the Cozy Bundle. And that's about all I have written down. I mean, I know I make this joke every single video, every single predictions video. I always make this joke. Hollow Knight Silksong. I say it every time, and I'm going to say it again. Statistically, I will eventually get it right. Eventually, I will correctly predict it, and I will get 2 upvotes on Reddit when it happens. That is the only reason I'm even mentioning it at this point. But that's about all I had for what Nintendo would do in a February Direct, assuming they do one this year. Like I said, it's a very weird year because of the Switch 2 Direct in April, but if they decide to continue to pursue their previous trend of, February Directs, I think the games that I talked about here will be just a fraction of what we can expect to see. But that's going to be it for me for now. Stay vibing and thriving, everyone, and I will see you in the next one.